Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and shalom to all of the Archeum teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. Back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. So this message is for you Hebrew Israelites, the real Hebrew Israelites, i.e. so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. However, you will find Israelites scattered amongst the other nations because we've been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18, states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I'm just going to do a quick lesson here, going into a topic I was meditating on yesterday when I was out and about. I was doing my everyday, living my everyday life, so to speak, and I was out amongst the people. And as I was walking through the crowds and, doing what I needed to do, I was meditating on something like the mindset I've got at this point in time is that this truth is what matters. This truth is what matters. Running around and chasing women isn't really important at this particular time. Though all things are lawful, not all things are expedient. So as I was walking around, I'd see decent looking women at various points when I was going about my business. But every time I saw one, I'd just think into my head, she'll just destroy your life. No matter how pretty she may look, at this point in time, the women are off. All they're going to do is bring chaos and confusion and essentially destroy your life. So I was meditating on Isaiah 4 and verse 1, which I've got up on the screen here. And it's about patience, really. Now, I know that the scriptures say, if thou burn, marry. And, for some brothers, that's, good for them. But for me personally, I just want to focus on this truth because I've had my experiences dealing with women and a number of them. And no good ever comes of it in the long run. They're all corrupt. It's like I've got notifications on. They're all corrupt and wicked at this point in time. So, for me, I just wait for the kingdom because scriptures like this help give us comfort. And I want to show this in context. Let me read it, then I'm going to show an example. Because obviously it's good to visualize what these things will actually be like, because the scriptures say where there is no vision, the people perish. So while we're reading of these prophecies, because this is a prophecy that's yet to come to pass, we have to be able to envision it and have hope that the Most High, hope and faith that the Most High will deliver on his word, because the Most High is not a man that he should lie. So the Most High is bound by his word. So let me read Isaiah 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So in that day, several women. Now that number 7 doesn't literally mean 7. It means a complete number. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 to 7 to 27 to 307 to 3007, however much is sufficient for each man. Now, Isaiah 13 and 12 says this. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So when I was meditating on this, I thought, you know what, man? Let me do some research on gold rushes to get a real feeling of the context of this verse and what the Most High has promised to his elect. So let's go to YouTube here. I pulled up some footage of one of the American gold rushes, and I'm going to play this clip. It's 2 minutes 15 seconds. But the reason why I'm playing this is because not many of us in our lifetimes have experienced that kind of attention from women. Now, in the world, you may have got attention from girls, you may have 2 girls checking you, 5 girls like you. You may have been considered what was in the world an attractive guy. I had that in my early childhood and teens, you know, when I was at school, a lot of girls used to chase me and want to deal with me, but I didn't really want to deal with them because me personally, I've got quite high standards when it comes to women. But I experienced that kind of attention of having girls running me down, and that was just within a school. So it's probably about maybe five, six girls, different girls who were interested in me. And at the time, that was a lot of attention for me. But just imagine, put your mind into this state where imagine, for example, hypothetically, let's say you live on a road, right? I don't know how many houses are on a road. Let me just do a little quick calculation and imagine my street here. So, uh, let's say you've got 20 houses on one side of the street. Double that by two for two sides of the street because you know the road goes in the middle. So let's say 20 houses times two, that's 40. Let's say hypothetically, just for argument's sake, that there's a woman in every one of those houses, right? On your street. So let's say 40 houses, 40 women. Now, obviously, that's not the case because in reality, some men live in a house by themselves, there's no women. But let's just use these numbers as arbitrary figures just to do this little equation, right? So let's say you live in a house on the street and there's 40 houses on the street, and in each house there's 40 women. Imagine coming out your house one day and 40 women running you down wanting to be with you. Now, these women could be from anywhere in the spectrum. For example, they could be young maids, meaning a young woman of marriageable age. It could be an elderly widow. They're all going to be running you down. Now, obviously, you're not going to want to deal with all of them because you're going to be discerning. Obviously, every man's got different tastes. But just imagine all 40 women wanting to be with you just as you step out of your house. Now, let's multiply that. How many roads are in a town? Imagine all the women in your little town running you down, wanting to be with you because you're more precious than gold, than the golden wedge of Ophir. Imagine that kind of attention from women. Now, let me play this clip of the gold rush to give it some context because this is what's promised to us. And we have to envision this because it's all too easy to get into the mindset of, oh, well, yeah, Isaiah 4:1 says 7 women shall take hold of one man. So, you know, maybe I'll have 10 women or 20 women. No, it's going to be a lot more than that because when people wanted the gold, they were coming in like their thousands to try and get that little bit of gold. Let me show it.
In 1896, prospectors find gold in the Klondike, a Canadian district near the Alaskan border. Getting there means sailing north from Seattle, where gold fever attracts thousands of dreamers. And
right, so let me put that into context, right? So the analogy I was just saying is, imagine all the women in your street or in your little town running you down. Now you're going to have prospectors coming from other towns just to try and find that gold. So then we're talking more than just your town. We're talking about different, how do you call it? Over here we call it boroughs, or different areas in your city. Women flocking in their droves as prospectors to try and find that gold. Imagine that. So it goes beyond just your street, beyond just your town. Now we're talking about the different districts or boroughs in your city, women coming to just to try and find that little bit of gold because they're in those days they call them prospectors. So these women are going to be like prospectors, risking everything, traveling from afar just to try and find a man of the elect to be with. So let's get this. Let me rewind it from the top and go again.
In 1896, prospectors find gold in the Klondike, a Canadian district near the Alaskan border. Getting there means sailing north from Seattle, where gold fever attracts thousands of dreamers and the cameras of movie pioneer Thomas Edison. Local outfitters make a killing, as all supplies have to be taken with you, even horses.
See all these Edomite niggas here. They're all looking for that gold, man. They're all loading up their shit, trying to come to find that gold. That's how these women are gonna be, man. See, look at that boat, full up of people trying to go to the what they called it, that place where they were just trying to find the gold. That's what all these people are coming trying to do. Now, are all of them gonna find it? No. Just like I was saying before, obviously every woman that run you down, you're probably not even gonna want to deal with. You're gonna tell them to, hit the road and be about their business. But you're not gonna be short of prospectors coming to you wanting to be called by your name.
Steamship Queen is among the first to cast off, overflowing with prospectors.
I mean, imagine that. Imagine one man having that many women, like that boat full of women. That's just one boat, and there are obviously many boats that are filled up with people like that. Many journeys of people trying to find that gold. Just imagine everybody on that boat being a woman wanting to run you down, man. That's more than you could ever fathom in your mind. And that's what I'm trying to get to, because I was guilty of this. I'd read them scriptures and be like, yeah, I'll just wait for Isaiah 4 and 1. But I never really took the time to really do the research and find out, hang on a minute, what does it mean to be more precious than gold? So hopefully this is edifying me showing this here.
In time, 100,000 will head to Alaska, most through the makeshift port of Skagway. From here, it's still 350 miles inland to the Klondike. Edison captures the first ever moving images of Alaska. The trek to the goldfields takes 3 months. Through the region's toughest terrain.
Imagine that, women taking a 3-month type journey to try and run you down. Now, obviously, we don't know how long we're going to be in the trouble for. It might not be 3 months. It might be shorter than that. It might be longer than that. But the point is, women are going to be trekking from afar just to run a man of the elect down.
Only 30,000 make it to stake their claim.
Only 30,000 make it. So imagine 30,000 women running you down, man. You see, I can't imagine it because I'm in the flesh. As I said, having 10 women running you down seems like a lot. 30,000? Wow.
And start panning for riches as they process tons of dirt. Over the next 3 years, the Klondike yields 75 tons of gold. But only a few make their fortune. Most return home empty-handed.
So that's how it's gonna be for the women, because not all of them are gonna find that gold. A lot of them are gonna have to return and go about their way empty-handed, because a lot of women are gonna be rejected in the times to come, and that's how things are going to be turned back the right side up, because the scriptures said, behold, I will create a new thing in the earth, I will make a woman compass a man. Well, it's going to be turned back the right side up, where women are going to men are going to compass the women, so the women are going to go back to their right order, being subservient under their husbands. They're not going to be running about being lawless and enjoying liberty, because here's the secret: liberty was never made for women. Women were also always supposed to be under subjection, first unto their fathers and then unto their husbands. So all this free, strong, independent women feminism mindset, this doctrine of feminism, is going to be put out of the earth, man. And these women are going to cast it away, because they're going to find out that feminism has not benefited them. They're going to understand that they need the protection of a man, and not just any old man, a man of the hopeful elect. So, we're not going to have to beat feminism out of them, so to speak. Women are going to cast that aside when they see it's not going to prosper them in the day of wrath. When Yahushua starts to make his return, they're going to realize that they've gone along in a way which has not prospered them. Let me quote that from Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. So, Wisdom of Solomon 5, I'm going to read down from here. It says, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labours. So a lot of these women have afflicted the men of the Lord, by doing them dirty, treating them bad, not being respectful, being very disrespectful, ignoring men, and just thinking that their shit don't stink and that they're better than men. They're going to be humbled, just as it pertains to Micah 7 and verse 10. And then shall I'll read that in a minute. Let me read this. No, let me get that now for context, edification context. So Micah 7 and verse 10 says, Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. So a lot of these women are enemies, because they're against the Most High. They're against righteousness. They love wickedness. They love this world. They want this world to continue. So they are enemies. Didn't King David say in the Psalms, Do I not hate them that hate thee, O Lord? I count them mine enemies. So a lot of these women are our adversaries, and the Most High has done that to us as a reproach because we didn't keep the covenant. And part of the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is that thy wife shall be a harlot in the streets. So a lot of our women that, say we've dealt with or had relationships with, a lot of us have been dealing with women that have already been used. Unfortunately, because it's very hard to find a woman that's a virgin in these times, because these women, they're lawless. They open their quiver against every arrow, and they drink of every water that they sit next to, roughly paraphrasing, meaning that they'll deal with many men. And that's part of our approach, because a woman's only supposed to be with one man, and that's supposed to be you. So 7 and 10 Micah, it says, Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, meaning that she's going to see the tribulation, she's going to see the signs, she's going to realize that this world is coming to an end, and she's going to want to seek salvation. So it says, And then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is Yahweh thy God? Because they didn't believe in the Most High. They believed in themselves, they worshipped themselves as gods, and they thought that the universe bent to their will and their desire. Madness, vanity. Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets, meaning the shit. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1, says, Then the righteous man shall stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and make no account of his labours. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And here's the point. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honour. How is he numbered amongst the children of the Most High, and his lot is amongst the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth. The light of righteousness hath not shined unto us. The sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Here's the point. See, this is how these women are going to cast away feminism. It says, We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. Because that's what feminism is. It's like a vast desert where there's no prospering in that path, because feminism ends up leading to pride. These women become proud. They think that they don't need no man. They think that everybody on the earth was made to acquiesce to them. And then they live their life in such a rebellious way that they drive away any good man that ever wanted to be with them. Then they hit the wall when they're about 40 and they realize, shit, man, my looks are starting to fade and a lot of men aren't returning my calls. Nobody's running me down to be with me anymore because I'm starting to look a little bit haggard and washed up. And then they realize, oh shit, now I'm experiencing social isolation because every good man that I came across I treated like shit. Now none of the good men want to deal with me. Now all I'm left with is the degenerates and waste men. I want a good man now. But guess what? You can't find a good man because you've used up your collateral. Collateral as in your good looks. You know, what does the scripture say? Does the scripture say, wickedness of a person doth darkeneth their countenance? So after all them years of running around from jumping from this guy to this guy, dealing with this guy to that guy, you've basically cursed yourself, and now the Most High is drying up those once youthful good looks. So then you're feeling, shit, man, I need a good man. I can't find a good man. What am I gonna do? And that's when you realize, oh shit, man, I've been played. I fell into the trap that feminism taught me that, you know, I could be strong, single, independent, do it all by myself. But guess what? Now I'm 40 and I'm single and I'm lonely. So that's when they realize, oh shit, we buried ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Because what does feminism bring? It only brings the destruction of the household. Drive the man out the house, have the children raised by the mother, so the children raise up in reversed roles where the boy is effeminate and the woman is even more masculine. It's all fucked up, man. That's all destruction. So it says, verse 7, we buried ourselves in a way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What have pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? Because you've got a lot of women out there who have gone through the public school system. They've got gassed because they got good GCSEs. They went to college, they got good A levels, they went to university, and they got their what do they call it, their was it 1-1 or their 2-1 degree. Then they did their masters and they think they're all smart and sensible. Then they went out and got some fucking job. They got a decent salary and they think that they've made it in life. They think they've arrived in life. And at that point, the woman is so fucking gassed off her own bullshit that she don't want to deal with no man who she perceives to be under her. Like, you know, us guys in the truth, we live very humble existences. The scriptures clearly say, labour not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. So a lot of us men in the truth, we're just happy to keep it, just keep it moving, man. Just take a regular job where you can pay your rent, you know, cover your bills, and that's all you really need. Because what did the Lord's Prayer say? Give us this day our daily bread. And as I said, the scriptures say, labour not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Just labour to have, you know, food, shelter and raiment. And, you know, you've got the things that you need to be able to do the work in a ministry. You know, obviously, if you've got a home, you need to have your internet connection to do your videos. You may need to have your little money to travel to and from camp. You know, obviously, you know, money to eat and stuff like that, sustenance stuff. But as for like, you know, becoming a billionaire or a trillionaire in Esau's system, that's not wisdom. That's foolishness, because we're coming to the point where even as I speak today, just briefly touch upon it, the pound has been devaluating to where it's almost equal with the dollar now. I think the pound is at its lowest point since, is it 1982 or 1985? So what's the point in labouring in this society to try and make all this money, these Federal Reserve notes, when, what is it, the central bank controls the currency and they're devaluating the currency as we speak? You know, that's not wisdom. What does the scripture say? The scriptures say, lay up your treasures not on earth, but rather lay you up treasures in heaven. Yeah, where moth and rust doth not corrupt, and thieves do not break through and steal. So all you're doing in this society, if you're in this society working, is all you're doing is labouring for uncertain riches. Whereas if you labour for the meat that perisheth not, which is the kingdom, that's never going to perish, man. Your works won't be forgotten. They'll be held in remembrance with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and no thief can break through or steal those works. Or, you know, the tax man can't come and say, oh shit, you know, you didn't pay enough taxes last year, so now you have to pay double to make up for it. Or, you know, all kind of madness Esau can do to you, man. See, in this society, nothing is certain, man, because we are yet this day in our captivity, pertaining to Baruch 3 and the 8th verse. So let's say you do get rich on this side. You could have a house fire. Like, let's say you keep all your money under your mattress, right? You could have a house fire and you lose all your money. Or let's say you keep all your money in the bank. The bank could collapse. You lose all your savings. Or let's say you keep your money in your house again. A thief could break through or steal it. Or even worse than that, Let's say you do keep your money in the bank and it's all good, then Esau crashes the pound or the dollar. So your money's now lost its value. See, all you got on this side is uncertain riches. And it's the same with a woman, because a woman is a possession, right? Let's say you acquire a woman and she's good to you, yeah, and she's treating you well and stuff. You think she's a good woman. You go out to work. How do you know your next door neighbour's not crawling in through the back door and dealing with your woman? How do you know the postman ain't dealing with her, or some fucking random ass Amazon or delivery guy or some shit? Because this shit happens, man. Your woman, you think your woman's being faithful to you and behind your back, she's there dealing with next niggas, texting next niggas in secret and shit. It's uncertain riches, because these women weren't made to be loyal on this side. The only thing a woman is loyal to on this side is herself. And what has to happen is she needs to be humbled to realize that the solution to her life's problems doesn't reside within herself. She needs to realize that, oh shit, I need to be with a man of the elect, because that's the only way I'm going to get out of this tribulation and calamity and this great destruction which is coming upon the earth. See, these women need to be put in fear. See, you don't want a woman to say, oh, I love you, because that's shit, man. Love don't mean nothing. What you want is, you want your woman to fear you. Because when your woman fears you, she's not going to step out on you. And when I say fear, it doesn't mean like, oh, get your woman in a headlock and suplex her every night so that she's afraid that you're going to beat her black and blue. No. But she has to have the fear of the Lord. And these women don't have the fear of the Lord because they don't believe in the Most High. They believe in themselves, as I said. They've got gassed off of songs like, they hear on the radio. What is it? Beyonce, Irreplaceable. What's that other song she done? All You Single Ladies. Put a Ring on It. Other songs, Ariana Grande, God Is a Woman. See, all these songs, these are the things that are playing through a woman's mind, man. They hear these songs on the radio and it gasses them, thinking, yeah, I can do it. I can be a free woman. But liberty wasn't made for women. Women were made to be in service and subjection under a man. First under their fathers, and then as soon as they leave their father, they're under a husband. They're not supposed to be going out there to fucking university, living by themselves, running around with every fucking nigger on the campus, because that's what happens at these universities, man. All they do is they turn your daughters out. You're thinking, oh yeah, she's going away to study law and to get a good degree. No, she's fucking sucking dick every other night of the week, man, if not every night of the week. So let's get back to the scriptures here. So it says, verse 8, what of pride profiteth us? Or what good of riches will our vaunting brought us? Because as I said, a lot of these women who get good qualifications, they look down on men, such as, a lot of guys in the truth who are just keeping on a humble, because they look down on them because they earn less than them. They're looking at this guy thinking, what can he do for me? Why hasn't he got a 2-1 like me? Why isn't he working a good job like me? Why isn't he making this much money as me? Because the women intrinsically, they know that the women intrinsically deep down inside themselves know that the man is supposed to be the superior. The man is supposed to be the provider. The man is supposed to be the superior. The man is supposed to be the provider. And when they see the man not fulfilling that function, they have nothing but disdain for the man, because the woman knows that she's supposed to reverence a man. But how can she reverence somebody who she perceives to be inferior to her? That's why everything's been turned upside down. As the scriptures say, I've created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. So let's finish this off and close this out. So it says, all those things are passed away like a shadow and a post that hasted by, as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the waves. Or as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found, but the light air being beaten with the stroke of her wings, and parted by the violent noise and motion of them, is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found. Or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parteth the air, which immediately come together again, so that a man couldn't know where it went through. So all these qualifications, all these, all your life savings, your good job, your good qualifications, that ain't going to mean shit in the day of wrath, man. It's all going to be as an arrow that passeth through the air, or as a ship that passed through the waves. It's not going to matter. It's all going to be done away with. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to shew, but we were consumed by our own wickedness. For the hope of the ungodly is like as a dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as a smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as a remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. But the righteous live for evermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. See, the elect are going to be protected, man. And he shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. So that's it. That's the point there. They're going to see the elect receiving their crowns. They're going to see the reward of the wicked, and they're not going to want to have no portion in the part of the reward of the wicked. So they're going to be running you down from afar in hopes that somehow, some shape, some way they can find salvation by aligning themselves with you. So I hope that's been a little edifying lesson on that point. So with that, I'm going to close it out, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Well, and shalom to all the Akim teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. I'm out, and I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now. Wa Abba Bo, Wa Kam Shalom.